But I do need to find my I do need to find my chat room. Okay, looks like I am live. Okay, so if you're there, say hello, and please say hi if you join me. Okay, what is a vocal type? I got this. I got this question this week from one of my subscribers on YouTube, and he said, "Do these vocal types represent problems with our voices, or problems with our voice that must be fixed, or just unique qualities of a person's voice that oftentimes just happen to result in certain problems?" Well, hi. It looks like. Can you hear me okay? That's the one thing I want to know is if you can hear me all right. And I can see and hear you. Great. This question is very thoughtful. I thought this is a great question. Do these vocal types, and the vocal types we're talking about here are pulled chest, high larynx, light chest, no chest, flip, falsetto, or mix. So do these vocal types represent problems with our voice that must be fixed? And in a way, the answer is both. So they are problems with our voices that must be fixed. And then the second question he asked, or just unique qualities of a person's voice that oftentimes just happen to result in certain problems. And yes, that's true also. So I responded by answering it this way. Number one, they are unique qualities in a person's voice that results in certain problems. So I'll hark back to my experience. My vocal type is pull chest, high larynx, and the reason why it's pull chest, high larynx is that I didn't know how to transition into my head voice, and so I would pull my chest voice higher. And you can hear that it's splatting, the sound spreading, and in a moment it's going to break or crack, or I have to keep yelling or pushing, and then it really is going to hurt my voice. I'm going to try not to cough today. I've got bronchitis. And, usually what I would do is just so I couldn't transition into my head voice. I would pull my chest higher, and I would just stop. I really wouldn't sing in falsetto because I couldn't do that on stage, which is what I like to. I like to perform in musicals and sing on stage, and you can't do that and sing up there. So that was my natural voice, and it just and it presented a limitation. So that is a unique quality in my voice, and that presents a problem. The problem is I couldn't sing into my head voice. So the other thing that I did when I first started studying this particular technique that I'm teaching is that I didn't know how to get more power in my voice, and so I remember singing Stars from Les Miserables, and the last note ends on a D, and I'd say star, and I would put this little ha sound in my voice because I wanted it to be bigger sounding, And so in that situation, I introduced a problem that wasn't there naturally. I was trying to add something extra to my voice that introduced a problem that wasn't there with my natural voice. And so is that a part of pull chest, high larynx? Maybe not technically, but it was an added thing that I put in there, wasn't there naturally. I put it in there trying to make my voice better. Now, let's talk a little about, that's the example of the full chest, high larynx. The light chest, no chest. A unique quality of a student's voice might be that they are just have difficulty getting their vocal cords to come together. And so it may be that they have grown up speaking quietly and were embarrassed to, really make a lot of noise, get their vocal cords together. Maybe the only time they ever did that was when they were mad at their sister or whatever, and they would actually yell and say, "Get out of here," or "Get out of my room," and then their vocal cords come together. But when it came to singing, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are." So that person's unique quality presented a problem. That is, the chord structure, the vocal cords weren't adducting, weren't coming together firmly enough. Now, some people add that to their voice to try and make a special sound of some sort, or they have to do that to go through the bridge. So they lighten it up because the only way they can get up into their head voice is to really back off of it. So sorry. I didn't want to skip today, even though I'm sick. The flip falsetto. The flip falsetto would just let go. That's one thing that can happen. And what is the what's the unique quality of that person's voice? That's a little more difficult for me to answer. I'd have to think that through. But if I said or if I said I really didn't pull my chest voice that much, but I knew that I had to switch to get up. And if I don't know how to bridge, I had to switch into that falsetto, or I could do that by just a sudden change. So part of that is based on my natural voice. That's a limitation that creates a limitation for me. Now, another part of flip falsetto where somebody might add that to their voice. If they don't know how to sing up there, they might sing so they put that flip into every song and make that their style. And so their natural voice has caused a limitation, and now they've adopted it they've added that as a regular, consistent thing for style, because they don't know how to transition into their head voice without flipping. So you might as well, so they make it a part of everything they do. So they've added something to their voices. In this case, it's to cover up a problem they have. The mixed voice is fundamentally what we're all trying to get to if we eliminate all these problems. Or there are some singers, frankly, there's some singers who just mix. They were born with a gift and they can do it. And they don't know what all the problems are because they've always been able to do it. Darn you guys. I was never that way. And they just sing, what's so hard about that? Well, in that case, the mixed voice basically that's their unique voice, and it happens not to present any problems going into their head voice. So that's a bit of a review of the vocal types, and it's an answer to, are they unique qualities in a person's voice? So is the vocal type? Yes, it is oftentimes just the unique quality of a person's voice that presents some problems because they are limited by that. Um, and and then the singers introduce problems by trying to add something to their voices. And usually, again, it's because what they perceive is going to make them a better singer. They'll add that, and it ends up just getting us into more trouble too often. Okay, so I'm going to take some time now to answer any questions that this may have brought up. So let me just take a look at any questions that you might have. Hi, the Collective TV. Hi, thank you for joining. Alfred Lindsay. Hello, Alfred. Eli Anderson Music. Your vocal techniques on your website are helping me so much to develop my mixed voice. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eli. I appreciate that. Alfred. Interesting. Last one is my problem. Is that the flip falsetto? Hello, how to sing with bass high? Don't quite understand that question. How to sing with bass high? Are you asking how do you sing with your chest voice high? And I'm gonna take a guess. Well, rather than guessing, why don't you clarify that for me? I'm not sure what you mean by how to sing with the bass voice with bass high. I know I have to switch in order to go higher, but then my volume is gone. This is the first step is learn to do it. Second step, learn to do it without any tension, learn to do it correctly. And then if you'll stick with those, the third step is developing more power in that. So when I switch to my head voice, my larynx won't stay natural, but rather jumps up. Yes, and so this bridge area of the voice can be a great divide. It can be a big chasm between the low voice and the high voice, and it's such a challenge for us. But here's what can happen. Now let me just, the exercises on powertosing.com are designed to counteract your problems. They're designed to counteract pulling chest, or they're designed to counteract the high larynx. They're designed to counteract the tendency to not have your vocal cords come together, but to get the chords together, to counteract the flip or the falsetto voice, and to build the mix, to challenge and develop further the mix. So let me continue here answering. I know I have to switch in order to go higher, but then my volume is gone. When I switch to head voice, my larynx won't stay natural, but rather jumps up. How do you know if you're singing from the diaphragm? That's another question. Let me address that in a second. I have bass voice, I know when to sing high, but my voice sounds like crap when I hit the high note. Well, welcome to the club. Yeah, that's what this is all about. So let's address one thing here. When I switch to my head voice, my larynx won't stay natural, but rather jumps up. So I'm thinking that H-E-I capital A, if you're it looks like your picture is female, if that's you. So I'm just trying to know where you would start here. So one great exercise to help you transition, and this is for all of us, guys or girls, transition into your head voice without the larynx coming up, is goo 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 goo. Now when you do the goo, it isolates the vocal cords from the extrinsic muscles. The extrinsic muscles is what pushes up the larynx. So you can say goo 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 doing it in the women's key. We're now going into from D to A above middle C, which is the female first bridge. Generally speaking, the soprano's or alto's first bridge. Goo, 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 goo. Now, if you hear when you're doing the exercise, goo, 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 the larynx is going up. So you have to keep that hooty sound. Listen. Goo, 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 goo. Hoo, hoo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Now, if you find yourself going goo, 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 the larynx is going up, and you're just pulling the chest. You're tensing up. So you want to keep that kind of the dope. If that's happening and you have to fight it, then I would say do one other thing. Say duh, duh, not duh, but duh, and then say goo, 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 and do it kind of stupid, okay? Goo, 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 and that'll help keep the larynx down. Goo, 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 goo. If at any time you find yourself losing that dopey sound or that hooty, which is, here's like a hoot owl. Hoo, 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 goo, 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 goo. Nope. Goo, 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 goo. Then you know you're getting through there without pulling your chest voice. You're going through, that's not falsetto, that's head voice. Now, if you crack into falsetto, then your larynx is coming up. Keep that dopey sound and keep the ooh, hooty. Goo, 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 goo. And that's the beginning. And then you start building on it from there. That's really how you start working on retraining that larynx. The larynx is just in a habit of going up. And the goo is very, very fast in identifying that and helping you practice it so that the larynx stays down. Then once you do on the goo, you could go to new, and then on to other vowels and things. And that's what some of these exercises in the that are associated with the vocal types will help you do. I know I have to switch. Okay, when I switch my head voice, larynx, I'll say that. Okay, how do you know if you're singing from the diaphragm? Well, last week's live broadcast, or was it my video? I can't remember now. One of the last two videos, I talk about breathing tips, some mistakes and some tips. And I talk just precisely about breathing from the diaphragm. But I'll show you if doing a shallow breath, it's like this. So you put your hand right here and go. If you see yourself breathing and your hand is moving up and down, you're not breathing from the diaphragm. This is a shallow, high breath. I'm going to have to stand up. But now, watch what happens here with my stomach. If you can still hear me, when I breathe, my hand is staying still, but now my hand this lower hand will move out. Watch what happens when I get a breath. Now you notice that this stays still. It's not moving up and down. It's this that's moving in and out, in and out, in and out. I pull it in just a little bit, then I relax it. Goo. That's how you know if you're breathing from the diaphragm, if the chest is quiet and the belly button is what's moving in and out, and you're getting your breath from there. I have bass voice when I want to sing high, but my voice sounds like crap. Only the high knows. Well, so if I'm down here, here's my bass voice. Ah. Now, if I try and bring that up too high, I'm pulling it's also my chest voice. Ah, my. But if I sing up here, my. If I try and just sing my chest voice up where head voice is, then I'm pulling the chest voice, I'm pulling my bass voice too high. So I've got to learn to transition. I've got to learn to let my chest voice move, the resonance, the vibration move through the bridge up into my head. So if I sing, so that's pretty strong, and I'm not full out. Well, there's not a lot of loss in that. How do I get to that? How do you get the bass sounding voice? How do you get the chest sounding voice up so high? You have to start at the bridge. E, F, F sharp if you're a male. A, B flat, B and C above middle C if you're female. Once you learn how to do just exactly what I showed a minute ago, goo 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 goo, goo 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 goo, goo 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 goo, goo 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 goo. Now I'll tell you that before I learned how to do this, I couldn't do that. It's not that I have any gift. I don't. I was not born with a gift. But I learned how to do it with these exercises that I teach on my website, powertosing.com. If you haven't done it, take the vocal test. Go to the website, powertosing.com. Take the vocal test and find out your vocal type. Then go to the Knowledge Center, watch the videos. Let me just go back here. Eli, I am a lyric tenor, and my passaggio happens at the G sharp 4. Okay. I'm developing my mix due to your downloads, but sometimes I have a problem with the larynx rising. What is the technique to neutralize your larynx? Okay, I think, Eli, that what I've done just now will help you. So if you're in a song and you feel that going up, then I would go right to this goo goo goo. Let's just say, it sounds like you're, if you're a lyric tenor, you're probably doing classical or opera. But I would say, instead of doing the words, you might want to substitute the word goo and do it with the goo and see if you can do it without grabbing it. So let's say, now, if I start saying, I'm not sure what the key is, and I think it's lower than that, but whatever you're singing, if you can do goo 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 goo. Now, if you say goo 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 goo, then you know you're pulling, the larynx is coming up. Keep that hooty sound. Goo 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 goo. Or they'll come back to this. Goo 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 goo. And make sure that everything is staying relaxed and the ooh is staying, that you're not pulling the larynx up even with the goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. That's one way to identify it quickly and disassociate the larynx or the vocal cords from the extrinsic muscles that's driving that higher. That's one tip. is it imperative to drop the chin towards the larynx? I don't think so. I don't think the chin has anything to do with the larynx. In fact, I would watch out for, trying to do something like that might add more tension and more harm than good. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Hi, Tim, Liddy. Hey, how long would we have to wait, roughly, for the chance to have one-on-one Skype lessons? And would we be able to make it a regular thing once every 2 weeks? I'm 100% full chest, high larynx. Well, I can relate to you. If you go to powertosing.com, and it's down below there in the description, on my website, there's a work with me. Let me just see here. So let me, what I'll try and do is pull this up for you. And so here's the website. If you haven't been here already, just go right here to the work with me, and this, you can schedule a lesson here, put your name and address and phone number, and I'll get an email right away. Okay, so I'm going to have to bring this to a close pretty quick here, and then we can schedule Skype lessons. That's no problem at all. With a vocal range from A2 to E4, which you said you were before, yeah. Okay. I'm a little concerned about sorry, let me get back to my picture here. So, if we want this to go on for a minute, I need to do something real quick. So I'm going to ask your indulgence just for a minute. My battery's going to go dead on my computer, so I need to plug in. Hold on just a minute. Don't want to lose you. I'm hurrying. Okay. All right, this is going to give me a chance to answer the rest of these questions. Thank you for your patience. Now, every time I begin, let me see. So Tim, I'm not sure if that's a question. With a vocal range from A2 to E4, which you said you were before, that pretty well represents the range that I had. I could go a little bit lower than that. I mean, I'm down here. I can hit the A or the E on a good day. I'm a little bit not in full voice today. But yeah, the E above middle C was like the end of my range. It's no longer that way now, and I can help you with that for sure. Not sure how much breathing really makes a difference on bridging. I tend to feel like breathing and bridging is two different skills. I was talking with, I've heard Seth Riggs say this before. He's known some great singers who were lousy breathers, and he's known some great breathers who were lousy singers. So I think if you can combine the two, it helps. But I don't know that breathing and bridging is the same skill set. I've never found it to be the case. But it definitely helps. Once it's not going to help your range breathing wise, but once you learn to bridge, breathing is going to have a huge benefit, added benefit. Every time I begin to hit a high note, I seem to think, there goes that high note. Then I can't hit right, or it seems to go to the back of my throat. Yeah. One of the things, how do you fix that? If you have a high note, let's just say, Hallie, Hallie. Let's say the high note is E, up here, or here. Wheel, Jesus takes the wheel. I think that's where she is, E flat. But so when you do the exercises, if you're working these exercises here, you need to get them up above that. And if you're feeling that switch or that change, something's happening there, it's tightening up. I would say do this on G, 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 G. I would do the dopey G, 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 and take it up at least a couple notes above it until that's feeling comfortable. 2 or 3 notes above your high note. Why? So that we can protect the high note in your song. Meaning that you know you can hit it because you do it in the exercises. And so psychologically it's a real benefit because you know that's not a problem for you. And secondly, it's going to build in that area of your voice so that the high note's no longer high. I used to feel like this was a high note. Ah! It was an impossible note. It wasn't just high, it was impossible. That's the G above middle C. I couldn't do it. Now I kind of like it. I don't have them a lot in the songs that I do, primarily musical theater. But guess what? Now the E is no big deal at all. So if I know I've got a few notes above my high note, it helps so much. Helps so much. That's the first step. The second step is then to make sure that when you're doing those exercises, it probably sounds like the larynx is coming up a little bit. You want to make sure there's no tension. So go back to this. Goo, 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 goo. Well, I don't know what note you're talking about, but goo, 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 goo. If you breathe through your nose, it's easier. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's easier or not. You have to find your way on breathing. I tend to breathe through my mouth because I just open my mouth, drop my stomach, and air goes in. So, see, I don't take a breath. I don't take a breath. I don't inhale. I just drop this, and air goes in. Try that. Pretend like you're blowing a feather off something across the room, and you'll feel it on the rebound. Air goes in when the tummy comes out. I'm not taking a breath. Air just refills. It creates a vacuum, and the air fills it. Thanks. I'll learn how to do that more. Holly, it's a psychological thing. Imagine the highest note being right under your eyes. Okay. Well, thank you very much, you guys. Very nice to have you join me today. Thanks for staying with us. I apologize for those of you who were at the very beginning. I had a rough start, which is kind of par for the course for me. I'm getting better, but so I guess the final message is that, just like I say in my videos, you can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. And it's just a matter of learning these exercises and learning how to do them correctly. And it's going to open your bridge, open up to your head voice. Eventually your head voice is going to sound like your chest voice, but it's not. It's head voice. It's just a strong, powerful head voice. And there's not going to be tension. There's not going to be grab. It's going to work for you, and you're going to be able to do a lot more than you thought you ever could. So go to the Knowledge Center. Go to powertosing.com and take the vocal test. If you haven't done this already, go to the Knowledge Center and there's a vocal test here that's called the power test. I call it the power test. You record this by pushing this red button, and a piano plays for you. You make sure if you're male, you click this button, or female, you click that button, and then play the recording, and it'll give you a piano accompaniment, and then you record it. This starts the recording. this starts the piano accompaniment. You record the test, and so forth, and then you take the test. You listen to it, answer these questions, and then submit it, and your vocal type will come back. Or you can send it to me, and I can listen to it and tell you what your vocal type is. Then you go to the Knowledge Center, and there are videos here, pole, chest, high larynx, and so all of these. You go to these and watch these videos about your vocal type. Then you download the free exercises and start working on those. And that's what's going to help you. We're going to counteract those natural. We're going to counteract the natural problems that are with our voices, so that we eliminate them. We eliminate these problems and open up a whole new world of singing for you. So I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing. You can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. I'll see you in the next video or the next live broadcast. Thanks. Best of luck to you.